Hello, and welcome to my predictions video for TNA Victory Road 2024. Hey guys, I'm actually up to date on TNA at the moment. Maybe I can make some good predictions. Probably not. I don't think I quite get TNA's booking style as well as I get WWE's sometimes. So yeah, we'll see how I do. Let's just jump right into it. The first show on the Wikipedia article, which is the order I'll be predicting in, top to bottom, is a pre-show match between Eric Young and Steve Macklin as a team, taking on Hammerstone and Jake Something. Jake Something recently lost to Eric Young and then turned on him. I believe that was a formal heel turn. Steve Macklin made the save. Then Steve Macklin took on Hammerstone, and I think Macklin won. I can't remember, actually. God, that was only like yesterday. Like last night. I watched it this morning. Oh god, memory. But anyway, Eric Young had to save Macklin from Hammerstone after the match, and then Jake Something came out, and then later in the show it was announced that there was going to be a tag team match player. I think Hammerstone and Jake Something are kind of thrown together by mutual enemy. Eric Young and Steve Macklin seem to be being actually built into a team based on mutual respect. So for that reason, I'm going to pick EY and Steve Macklin. Also, pre-shows are for babyfaces, guys. So yeah, I'm going to go with EY and Steve Macklin for the win there, please. Next is another pre-show match, which I've not heard hide and a hair of, to be honest. And I've been watching TNA, so I don't know where or when this was announced and what I was paying attention to at the time. But yeah, Kushida versus Leon Slater. I know nothing of the build to this, nor the reasons. I don't even think I've seen Leon Slater on Impact recently, or on TNA in general, like Emergence or anything. Don't know. I'm gonna go Kushida, because Kushida's the bigger name and the more established wrestler, and definitely a babyface. I don't know whether Leon Slater's a babyface or a heel, and pre-shows up for babyfaces. So Kushida, please. Yeah. There's my pre-show predictions. Now, on to the main show, starting with the Hardys taking on First Class. Now, this is a weird one, because last night, the main event was the Hardys taking on the number one contenders for the tag team titles, The System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, and the Hardys won, which I thought was a really weird result for that match. So, I think maybe the Hardys win again here, and I don't know, did the System win the tag titles? Does it matter who wins the tag title match? I guess the Hardys kind of have next, I guess, because of that result. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Hardys to win. First Class don't seem to be being pushed particularly hard. They've lost a couple of times that I've seen recently to ABC. I know they're the tag champs, but, you know, like they just seem to be sort of fodder for the rest of the tag division. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Hardys. Next match, PCO and Rhino versus Deathmatch Royalty, which is Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander. Now, they've got this story going at the moment where Matt Cardona owns Steph DeLander because of the contract, which, I think that's illegal. But Steph DeLander's married to PCO in storyline, but Matt Cardona's saying you can't do any nonsense of just lying down and letting them get the win. You have to fight. So I am curious how this match is going to go out. This storyline is intriguing, if a bit wacky, if a bit crazy and out there. Not quite sure how Rhino fits into it all. I guess he's just friends with PCO. I guess he's just in there. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this plays out. It's going to go one of two ways. Steph's going to find some way to quote-unquote accidentally screw Matt Cardona and they're going to lose. Or Rhino's going to take the fall somehow, because I just don't see PCO getting pinned a whole lot in TNA. Like, just don't witness that a lot. This is quite difficult though, because I think both are quite likely. I'm gonna go with Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander, and it's gonna be uncomfortable for Steph. I think something she's gonna have to do in the match isn't gonna feel great for her, and she's gonna hesitate, but she's gonna have to do it. I think that builds the story better in the short term than just having the babyfaces win and Steph DeLander get one over on him again. I feel like Matt Cardona has to kind of grind her down for a bit in this story now and actually get the upper hand. Because in the the Go Home show last night, did she low blow him? Oh, my memory is terrible. She did something that made him lose the brawl going into the match. So you've got Go Home Maths, which I don't know if that applies to TNA, but you've got Go Home Maths, thanks Stephen Larson, and you've also got I just think it's a better story being told if Matt Cardona is actually getting one over on Steph for a bit. So I'm going to go with Deathmatch Royalty to win. Zachary Wentz defending the X Division Championship against Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey's like the guy. I get that in the X Division, but it feels harsh to take the X Division title off Zachary Wentz already, especially because Trey Miguel apparently has just had to undergo surgery, so might be out for a bit. So it's not like he can just go back to being in the Rascals immediately. So yeah, I'm going to pick Wentz. I'm going to pick Wentz to defend. There's not a lot of build to this one. Wentz won the title in Ultimate X. Mike Bailey came out and said, I'd like my automatic rematch. They had a tag team match against those guys, names forgotten, that they won. And yeah, now they're going to fight. Simple as face versus face. Nothing big. The Militia, which is Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich, which is a great name, by the way. I thought it was just Militia, which is just Alicia with Masha sort of jammed onto the beginning of it. But no, it's The Militia, which sounds like militia, as in like an army. That's a good name. I like that now. Now, the added the changed my perspective on it completely as a name. Versus Spitfire, which is Daniel Luna and Jody Threat for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And if Spitfire loses, they must disband as a team. I think Spitfire win here. Alicia Edwards is injured. In kayfabe, maybe in reality, I don't know. Maybe they'll pull a substitution on this match, I don't know. But the stipulation that Spitfire have to split, and they've already lost a couple of times, surely this has all been to build to the big moment where they win the tag titles. The alternative is that one of them's going to turn on the other after they lose, and they're going to have a singles feud. But I think the way to go with this is to give them the win, finally. Especially if Alicia Edwards is injured, you can now take the Knockouts tag titles off that team and not have that issue as well for as long as Edwards is actually kind of on the shelf-ish. Because obviously she's been on TV, so she's not fully on the shelf. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to pick Spitfire for that one. Next up is ABC defending the tag team titles against the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. This one's really tricky because the System just lost last night, which is bizarre to me when you're building up someone for a title shot. ABC have been going strong recently. I can't quite figure out where they're going with this System story, because obviously Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards are going for the World Tag Team titles, and Moose is going for the World title. I'm not going to spoil what I think of the main event just yet, the World title match, but I really don't know what to make of this one. Do they have the System win? And then the Hardys are like, hi, we would like a title shot. And maybe ABC would like that rematch and we get into like a triple threat. Maybe a ladder match. Maybe so. You know what? I like that so much, I'm going to predict it. I've talked myself into that. I'm going to go with the System to win here. Because then they've got kind of two ready-made challengers because the Hardys just beat them. So yeah, I'm going to go with the System. Next is Joe Hendry versus Josh Alexander. And again, I'm really torn on this one. Because Josh Alexander's like a massive deal in TNA. He's like, is he the longest reigning TNA World Champion? He's one of them anyway. And, you know, obviously like a cemented main eventer there. And a really good wrestler. Joe Hendry, though, is over, man, and he's been like the main face of the crossover to NXT as well. And Josh Alexander brought that up in the promo last night, which was fun. Joe Hendry had a song for Josh Alexander, which is always fun. We love Joe Hendry songs. I'm gonna believe in Joe Hendry here, and here's my reasoning. So regardless of who wins the world title match later, I don't think Josh Alexander with a win can step back up into that spot as number one contender, because he's literally just lost like an Iron Man match to Nick Nemeth. I feel like he has to sort of shuffle down the card a little bit and then rise back up. And this feels like a de facto number one contender match, doesn't it? Because who else is going to be the number one contender? Like, looking at this card, who else is going to step up after the world title match? So Josh Alexander can't really challenge Nick Nemeth, and heel versus heel with Moose isn't really going to work like all that great. So no matter who wins, I don't think Josh Alexander steps up. So I'm going to pick Joe Hendry because no matter who wins, Joe Hendry can step up. They can have a respectful babyface match with Nick Nemeth, and Joe Hendry, or they can have Joe Hendry versus Moose. It all works. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Joe Hendry. And last reason, and not least, is because, quite simply, I do indeed believe in Joe Hendry, and you should too. Let me know in the comments if you believe in Joe Hendry. Let me know your predictions in the comments in general, by the way. I'm fascinated to hear how other people approach this. I'm always curious, you know, when people just like list their predictions and it's just like one word or two words for each match. And it's like, no, tell me why. I really want to know why you think differently to how I do going into that match. Sometimes I understand it. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I was 50-50 on that. I can see why someone leaned the other way. Sometimes people predict Jack Perry to beat Bryan Danielson at AEW All Out. And I'm like, what? Tell me why. Tell me why you've picked that option now, because I don't get it. Anyway, final two matches. Next up is Jordynne Grace defending the Knockouts World Championship against Wendy Choo. This one's easy for me. Jordynne Grace. Couple of reasons. One, I don't believe titles are really going to cross lines in this crossover between NXT and TNA. So you pick the TNA person. But second reason is they've been talking so much about Jordynne Grace's number of defenses and how close she's getting to the record, which I believe is held by Taya Valkyrie, who is now in AEW, who now don't have a working relationship with TNA because WWE do with NXT. So I think they'll do this to kind of scrub that record and give Jordynne Grace the record. Not just from a political stance, because TNA aren't as like that as WWE can be, but also because Jordynne Grace just deserves it as well, like, let's be honest. So, unfortunately, because I really like this new Wendy Choo, and all she's doing is losing matches at the moment, since her gimmick change. But unfortunately, I'm going to predict her to lose this one as well, to Jordynne Grace. Yeah, Jordynne Grace retains. Finally, the main event, Nick Nemeth versus Moose for the World Championship. This is being built upon the fact that Nick Nemeth hasn't been able to beat Moose, but is the world champion, so to be a valid fighting world champion, he has to beat the guy he can't beat, and the guy he didn't pin when he won the title. I wasn't watching at the time. I certainly don't remember the match, but I'm guessing it was a triple threat, fatal four-way, some sort of situation like that, and Nemeth pins someone else in the match to take Moose's title. I'm going to go with Nemeth. Oh, but the System are winning the tag titles. Could they win all the titles? Could that be the way they're going? This is difficult, this main event, in my opinion. They could keep the Nemeth can't beat Moose thing going for a while, like, to be honest. Hang on. I know I shouldn't do this, but who have I got winning? I'm only going to count the main card. I've got faces, heels. Double face match doesn't count. Faces, heels, face. Ooh, I've got too many faces winning. Oh, do I want to pick Moose? Go on then. Nah. Nemeth's not been champion that long though. Oh, this is tricky. I'm gonna go right. Let's go Moose. Let's say they're doing a Raven Tommy Dreamer thing where Nick Nemeth can beat everyone except Moose. I think that'd be fun to do as a really long-term storyline. Let's go with Moose. I don't believe that for a second. I think my main event prediction's wrong. You know what? No, I think my prediction's wrong. Nick Nemeth. Final answer. Right. I'm gonna get out of here after I just do a recap of who I'm picking before I flip-flop again. I'm picking Eric Young and Steve Macklin to win the pre-show tag match. I'm picking Kushida to beat Leon Slater in the pre-show singles match. I'm picking the Hardys to beat First Class. I'm picking Deathmatch Royalty to beat PCO and Rhino. I'm picking Zachary Wentz to beat Mike Bailey. I'm picking Spitfire to beat the Militia. I'm picking the System to beat ABC. Picking Joe Hendry to beat Josh Alexander. Jordynne Grace to retain against Wendy Choo. And Nick Nemeth to retain against Moose. I'm going to be fuming if Moose wins, because it makes all the sense in the world, but it just felt wrong once I'd said it. So, those are my predictions. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch my review of the show tomorrow, and what I got right, what I got wrong, and what I thought about the show, and the booking decisions, and the quality of the matches, and all of that good stuff. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been Ebeza, you've been amazing, and I will see you next time.